The dog refused to let her ignore it, not barking, not attacking, just pacing, whining, looking back at her again and again. And then she glanced at the baby monitor. Her stomach dropped, because her daughter wasn't moving. And suddenly, the dog's behavior didn't seem strange anymore. It felt like a warning. Emily Carter had always believed that broken things deserved a second chance. Some people fix old houses. Some rescue abandoned dreams. Emily rescued what others gave up on. That's how she found Jack, a 3-year-old German Shepherd sitting in the far corner of a crowded shelter just outside town. While the other dogs barked, jumped, begged for attention, Jack didn't move, didn't react, didn't even look up. "His name's Jack," the volunteer said quietly, "but just so you know, he's not an easy dog." Emily crouched down slowly, keeping her voice soft. "What do you mean?" The volunteer sighed. "He's been returned twice. Doesn't bond, doesn't play. Sometimes he won't eat for days, just shuts down." Emily's eyes drifted back to Jack, still motionless, still silent. "But he's not aggressive?" she asked. "No," the volunteer replied. "Never bitten anyone, never even tried." "Then why return him?" A pause. "He doesn't act like a normal dog. People expect affection, excitement, connection." Emily studied him carefully. Jack wasn't cold. He wasn't distant. If anything, he looked tired, like something inside him had already given up. "Can I sit with him?" she asked. The volunteer nodded. Emily stepped inside the enclosure and slowly sat down a few feet away. She didn't reach for him, didn't call his name. She just sat. Seconds passed, then a minute, and finally, Jack moved. Not toward her, but just enough to lift his head. Their eyes met, and in that moment, something shifted. There was no fear, no aggression, just something quiet, something observant, like he was trying to decide something. Emily smiled softly. "It's okay," she whispered. "You don't have to be perfect." Jack didn't move again, but he didn't look away either. That was enough. When Emily brought Jack home, her husband Daniel wasn't convinced. "You adopted a dog that doesn't even acknowledge you?" he said, raising an eyebrow. Emily shrugged, setting Jack's leash down. "He's adjusting." Daniel glanced at Jack, who had already found a corner of the living room and settled into it, silently, watching. "He looks like he's guarding the place," Daniel muttered. "Maybe he is," Emily said with a faint smile. But deep down, she wasn't entirely sure what Jack was doing or thinking. At first, Jack barely interacted with anyone. He didn't explore the house, didn't play with toys, didn't react to commands. He just observed, always from a distance. But there was one thing Emily noticed almost immediately. Jack's attention kept drifting toward one place, the nursery, where her 6-month-old daughter Lily slept. At first, Emily thought it was coincidence, but then she started noticing patterns. Every time Lily made a sound, Jack's ears would twitch. Every time she cried, Jack would lift his head instantly, and at night, he never fully slept. One night, around 3:20 a.m., Emily stepped out of her bedroom to grab water. That's when she saw him. Jack was sitting outside Lily's door, completely still, eyes locked on the crib inside, through the slightly open door. "Jack?" she whispered. His ears flicked, but he didn't turn, didn't acknowledge her, just kept watching. A chill ran through her. "Come on," she said gently. "Let's go back." Jack didn't move. After a moment, Emily sighed and went back to bed. But something about it stayed with her. Days passed, then weeks, and slowly, Jack started changing. Not in the way most dogs do. He didn't suddenly become playful or affectionate. Instead, he became more focused, more present, more intentional. He began following Emily from room to room, quietly, never getting in the way, just staying close. And with Lily, he started sitting nearer, not touching, not interacting, just positioning himself where he could see her clearly, like he had assigned himself a job, one no one had asked for, one he took seriously. Daniel noticed it too. One evening, as Lily laughed in her crib, Daniel leaned against the doorway and crossed his arms. "He's always watching her," he said. Emily nodded. "I know." "You sure that's a good thing?" Emily hesitated. "I think he's protecting her." Daniel looked unconvinced. "Or obsessing." Emily didn't respond, because the truth was, she wasn't completely sure. Then came the night everything changed. It started like any other. Dinner, dishes, a quiet evening. Emily fed Lily, rocked her gently, and placed her in the crib. "Good night, baby," she whispered, brushing a soft kiss against her forehead. The baby monitor glowed softly on the kitchen counter as Emily cleaned bottles. The house was calm, peaceful. Too peaceful. Jack wasn't in the room. Emily didn't think much of it, until a sound, soft, faint, a low, restless whine. Emily froze. It was coming from the hallway. "Jack?" she called. No response. The whining continued, not loud, not aggressive, but persistent, uneasy. Emily walked toward the hallway slowly, and then she saw him. Jack was pacing outside Lily's room, back and forth, back and forth. His head kept turning toward the door, then back towards Emily, like he was waiting for her. "Hey, what's wrong?" she asked softly. Jack stopped, looked at her, then at the door again, and whined, this time louder. Emily felt her chest tighten. "Daniel," she called. Footsteps echoed as Daniel approached. "What is it?" "Jack's acting weird." Daniel frowned, looking at the dog. Probably heard something outside. But Jack wasn't looking outside. He was focused on one place. The nursery. Then, the baby monitor crackled. Emily turned quickly, grabbing it from the counter. The screen flickered, stabilized, and then her breath caught in her throat. Lily was in the crib, but she wasn't moving. Not shifting, not stretching, not even her tiny hands. "Daniel?" Emily whispered. "What?" "She's not moving." Daniel leaned in, squinting at the screen. "Maybe she's just sleeping." Emily shook her head, panic rising. "No, she always moves. She always—" Jack let out a sharp, urgent whine. Then, something changed. He didn't block the door, didn't stand in their way. Instead, he started pacing faster, whining louder, looking between Emily and the door, again and again, as if begging her, "Go." That was enough. Emily rushed forward, Daniel right behind her. She pushed the door open. The room was silent, heavy, wrong. "Lily?" Emily whispered. No response. Her heart slammed against her chest as she rushed to the crib. And then she saw it. The blanket, wrapped tightly, twisted around Lily's neck. Oh my God! Emily lunged forward, her hands shaking violently as she pulled the blanket away. "Daniel, call 911. Daniel fumbled for his phone, dialing with trembling fingers. Emily lifted Lily, cradling her tiny body. "Come on, baby, come on." Lily's face was pale, too pale. Her chest barely moving. "Please," Emily sobbed, "please breathe." Seconds stretched, endless, terrifying. Then, a small sound, a fragile, broken gasp. Emily froze. Again, "Come on." Another breath, weak, but there. "She's breathing," Emily cried, tears streaming down her face. Daniel dropped beside her, voice shaking into the phone. "Yes, she's breathing now, please, hurry." Sirens cut through the night moments later. Paramedics rushed in, moving quickly, professionally. They checked Lily's airway, her pulse, her breathing. "She's stabilizing," one of them said. Emily collapsed against Daniel, sobbing uncontrollably. Relief, fear, shock, all at once. And then, one of the paramedics glanced towards the corner of the room, at Jack, still sitting, still watching. "You said the dog alerted you?" he asked. Emily nodded, wiping her tears. "He kept whining, pacing, he wouldn't stop." The paramedic gave a small nod. Dogs can detect changes in breathing, even distress patterns. Daniel looked at Jack, his expression shifting. If he hadn't, the paramedic didn't need to finish. He didn't need to. That night changed everything. Jack wasn't just a rescue anymore. He was family. In the days that followed, Lily made a full recovery. Doctors said it had been close, too close. But she was safe, because someone had been paying attention. And Jack changed too. The tension in him seemed to ease, the constant alertness softened. For the first time, he wagged his tail, slowly at first, then more. One afternoon, Emily sat on the floor folding laundry. Jack approached her, carefully, quietly, and rested his head against her knee. Emily froze, then smiled through tears. "Hey, you," she whispered, gently stroking his fur. It was the first time he had asked for anything, and she gave it freely. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Emily sat beside Lily's crib. Jack lay nearby, calm, peaceful, watching, but no longer tense. "You knew," Emily whispered softly. Jack lifted his head. Their eyes met, and this time, there was no distance, no hesitation, just trust. Some people say rescue dogs are the ones who get saved, but sometimes they're the ones doing the saving. If you believe dogs understand more than we ever will, hit like. Because Jack didn't just watch. He listened, he acted, and he saved a life. And stories like this deserve to be remembered.